How did Ryan Garcia go from having a dominant presence to speaking nonsensically?
I want to clarify some things. I don't do cocaine. I would do a live drug test.
What do you do?
I would do a
What do you
live
do?
drug test.
What do you do?
I drink and I smoke weed, and so has the majority of this room.
It might be tempting to view this as an isolated incident, but with Ryan's recent frequent public appearances, it's evident that a significant shift has occurred. Despite his youthful age of 25, Ryan's immersion in boxing since childhood has led to speculation about the cumulative effects of the blows he's endured. Emerging as a prominent figure in the lighter weight classes early on, he quickly established a strong online presence, becoming recognizable beyond boxing circles. However, recent behavior suggests a drastic departure from his past demeanor, marked by speech difficulties hinting at possible substance abuse, alcohol or otherwise. What triggers prompted this sudden transformation? Could recent events over the past 10 months have been a factor? All this and more as we uncover the sharp mental decline of Ryan Garcia. The saga began back in April 2023, when a match between him and Gervonta Davis was slated at a 136-pound catchweight. At this point, both contenders boasted flawless records, commanding substantial attention within the sport. Boxing found itself grappling with a significant dilemma: premier athletes opting for safer opponents to preserve their undefeated status. As the UFC gained traction and boxing's internal politics intensified, many of the sport's fans became disinterested, craving high-quality matchups. As the anticipated showdown approached, Garcia addressed these issues, acknowledging his decision to take the fight as a means of revitalizing interest in the sport.
With this fight, like I said, it's going to determine where boxing needs to be headed. This right here is going to determine either fighters are going to fight right now and get to it or not. That's it.
Even with the strict stipulations imposed by Davis's camp, the focal point of controversy leading up to the bout was Davis's imposition of a rehydration clause on Garcia, limiting his weight gain to a mere 10 pounds between weigh-in and fight night. This condition left Garcia visibly drained, compromising his performance potential. Nevertheless, amidst mounting anticipation, the stage was set for one of boxing's most significant fixtures in recent memory. Both fighters entered the ring, with Garcia putting forth a valiant effort, albeit Davis ultimately outclassing him. Garcia managed to win only 2 rounds and suffered a knockdown in the second, followed by a decisive hit to the gut in the 7th that incapacitated him. Despite the defeat, the bout proved immensely lucrative, drawing over 1.2 million pay-per-view purchases at $85 each, translating to approximately $30 million for Garcia. However, this pinnacle marked the beginning of a downward trajectory for his career. Following his knockout loss, Garcia's relationship with Golden Boy Promotions soured, culminating in legal disputes. Moreover, tensions flared on social media, with Garcia publicly accusing founder Oscar de la Hoya of prioritizing financial gain over respect for his career. Unable to reconcile his defeat against Davis, Garcia's resentment spilled over, casting shadows over his subsequent bout against Oscar Duarte, where he seized the opportunity to air grievances against Bernard Hopkins and De La Hoya during the press conference.
You know, one thing that's been on my heart is the statements that Bernard made, where he'll decide if I'm going to finish or if I should continue boxing after this fight. He don't decide that. My coach does, my team does, everybody that, you know, grinds with me day in and day out, that's who decides, and ultimately God decides, not him. Nobody was telling him when to stop boxing. You know, he stopped boxing at, 45, so kudos to him. But he don't determine that. And another thing I want to touch on is, you know, Oscar saying that, you know, we misinterpret, you know, what they say. It's plain English. I didn't hear anybody speaking any language I don't know. So, you know, it's very clear to me that, you know, they're backing this guy to beat me just like they thought Duno was going to beat me. He was the next Filipino star. They saying he's the next Mexican star.
Tensions escalated between the two parties, with fault lying on both sides. However, Garcia found redemption in the boxing ring, securing a victory over Duarte in the 8th round. Just as prospects seemed to brighten, Garcia's unexpected appearance on the PBD podcast sent shockwaves through the community. This was his first interview since his last fight, prompting observers to take note of a noticeable shift in his speech pattern and demeanor. The most apparent shift was in his physical appearance, notably his bloated and puffy face. While this could be attributed to weight gain, it also raised concerns about possible alcohol abuse, as excessive drinking often manifests in facial swelling due to water retention. Contrasting his previous interviews where he exuded calm and thoughtfulness, in this instance, he appeared on edge, frequently sidetracking the conversation by reaching for his phone mid-question or cutting off colleagues mid-sentence. Additionally, his tone of voice was different, transitioning from a somewhat higher pitch to a huskier sound, which is suggestive of prolonged smoking and heavy drinking. Viewers also noted his constant chewing into the microphone, an odd behavior for someone of his caliber as a top professional boxer. While some might dismiss this as an isolated incident, a month later, he exhibited similar behavior on The Helwani Show. Speculation arose regarding whether he was under the influence of alcohol or other substances. Even though he acknowledged his enjoyment of smoking weed and occasional drinking, he has never mentioned involvement with heavier drugs. Though his behavior and facial expressions suggest otherwise, as when you contrast his appearance on the Impulsive and Bradley Martin podcasts just 10 months earlier, you would have never assumed this. His face was smooth, and he appeared notably younger. Furthermore, his demeanor and tone of voice reflected that of a professional. Alongside accusations of substance use, concerns have emerged about Ryan's gambling addiction. Influencer Bryce Hall publicly accused him of having huge gambling debts and being exploited in high-stakes games.
But I know about the poker games that he's losing millions of dollars at because I've played at some of those games and they tell me how much of a fucking fish he is. Basically, he just throws money. He's like an idiot.
There might be merit to this accusation, as he frequently emphasizes his expected earnings from future fights rather than prioritizing victory in the ring.
Because the average person right now is going to put a lot of money
whether
on you,
whether
is they're a
you
little
bet or
worried.
not, I don't give a but if you really want to make some money, bet on me.
While many MMA fighters pivot to boxing to capitalize on their UFC fame for financial gains, Garcia seeks to venture into MMA and vie for the bantamweight championship, a realm predominantly governed by striking masters. Critics contend that Ryan's aspirations might be overly ambitious, given that MMA strikers possess a varied skill set beyond just boxing.
You got to hear what Ryan Garcia says as to why he thinks he could hang in the octagon. Ryan Garcia, again, boxer, thinks he could win and fight in the octagon against a champion. Take a listen.
I'll beat his ass in MMA, guaranteed. I'm a natural. You don't understand. I'm a natural wrestler. I just beat my security that's a wrestler. I beat him. I'm strong, and I got crazy conditioning.
I beat my security. So who's more delusional, right?
In response, O'Malley took a lighthearted approach, creating a comedic skit with his coach to poke fun at Garcia and Oscar de la Hoya. Bryce went on to argue that Garcia's gambling debts were the driving force behind his pursuit of a fight against Devin Haney, recognizing Garcia's slim chances of victory given his current state. Amidst widespread skepticism regarding Garcia's commitment to his craft, Haney added his own accusations, claiming Garcia reeked of alcohol during their face-off. During their press tour to generate hype for their upcoming fight, it's becoming apparent that Garcia might be fully embracing all the speculations regarding his indulgence in alcohol and substances. He has also been active on Twitter, showcasing recent erratic behavior that has raised doubts about his preparedness to square off against Haney in the ring. During the press events, he took the opportunity to address accusations of drug and alcohol abuse. Alongside the prospect of a showdown with O'Malley, Helwani floated the idea of a bout against Ilia Topuria, drawing parallels to McGregor's ascent. It will be interesting to see how this all plays out. Leave a comment down below on whether or not you think these accusations are true, or if Ryan is just playing up for the cameras. Ryan Garcia's story unfolds as a cautionary tale, revealing the complex interplay between fame, ambition, and personal struggles. From his rapid ascent in the boxing world to the recent tumultuous events, Garcia's narrative embodies the peaks and valleys of sports stardom. The fallout from his defeat against Gervonta Davis, coupled with controversies surrounding his promotional ties and behavioral shifts, underscores the fragility of success in the spotlight. As speculations regarding substance abuse, gambling addiction, and questionable career choices swirl, Garcia's trajectory serves as a sobering reminder of the challenges athletes face beyond the ring. Whether this saga ultimately culminates in redemption or further descent remains to be seen. But one thing is certain, the narrative of Ryan Garcia is far from over. leaving both fans and critics alike to ponder the complexities of fame and its toll on the human spirit. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe for similar content. Who would you like to see next? Let us know in the comments. Until next time, stay quixotic.